Some people would call that humming and hissing the sound of progress. I'd call it annoying. This machine is quiet. It's already gone up considerably in my estimation.
You could learn a thing or two from it, Bill.
It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs. Nobody home. Now what?
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Afraid not, sir.
Damn. Oh well, what can I do for you?
Do you know Linda Walker?
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days. She told me she was going away for a bit. Ah, that reminds me. She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure, I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
Ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob das schlau ist, ihm zu sagen, dass wir Privatdetektiv sind.
Okay, wo bist du? Walker Residence?
Hast du versucht, nochmal neu zu laden?
Ja, aber es bewegt sich ungefähr 1 Zentimeter und dann bleibt stecken, vergiss es. Er wird dir den Key nicht geben.
Okay.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
Also sollst du seinen Boiler anschauen.
Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest. These pipes are connected to the flue. They must heat up the water in this overgrown tea kettle.
It won't go any further in that direction. It won't go.
color me impressed. You're either extremely lucky, or you've done this sort of thing before.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yes? What is it?
I fixed the boiler for you.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
Gibt er mir jetzt den Schlüssel mit dem reparierten Kessel, oder?
So, den hast du jetzt repariert. Du erzählst ihm jetzt, dass der Boiler repariert ist und dann kommt er mit zum Apartment.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Is that right?
Und musst du dir die
Is
Notizen
Mrs. Walker in
angucken?
trouble? Has she done something wrong?
Müllhaufen?
I'm not entirely sure
Bist
yet,
du ein
which is why I need to
Receipt
take a
hast?
look inside her apartment.
I see.
Und das
Well, I wouldn't normally do
Wallpaper-Board.
this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
What in the ether?
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
Looks as though she definitely left in a hurry. I wonder if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effects, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed. These will make great evidence in Linda's trial. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers. I thought my apartment was messy. It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Good question.
A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it. Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes.
Wenn du fertig
Well, at least
bist,
that
müsstest du
painting
10
cheers the
Clues
place up a
haben,
little
4
bit.
Dokumente und 3 Suspects.
And the books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones.
Brauchst du die?
Ja.
Hast du gehört, was ich gesagt habe?
Also nochmal, wie viele Hinweise?
Moment, ich muss jetzt mal gucken, ob ich jetzt überhaupt auf der richtigen Stelle nach den Hinweisen geguckt habe. Case to... ein bisschen unübersichtlich. Du solltest am Ende 10 Hinweise, 4 Dokumente und 3 Suspects haben.
Bin ich weit von entfernt.
Oh, okay.
Torn apart. She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take.
Na dann. Viel Erfolg damit.
Will ich hier nennen?
Torn apart. You're actually gonna dig through that mess? I sure hope it's worth it. A receipt with yesterday's date. One-way train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine. Departed this afternoon.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems. Well, I hate to disappoint her.
A receipt with
Thought
That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate. What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
5. April. Ich kann es einfach nicht glauben. Kann es sein? Am Treffen heute Abend habe ich eine Unterhaltung mit Henrietta eingefädelt. Charles Harris ist am selben Tag geboren worden, an dem Alexander gestorben ist. Und er hat auch noch blaue Augen. Ach nee, nicht ernsthaft. Ich weiß, dass ich da nicht vorschnell Schlüssel ziehen sollte, aber das passt einfach zu genau um Zufall zu sein. Um es zu überprüfen, muss ich irgendwas von Alexander finden, was für ein Kleinkind passend ist. Vielleicht so ein alter Bär? 20. April. Charles mag Barney. Und zwar sehr. Henrietta hat mir erzählt, dass sie noch nie erlebt hat, dass er mit solcher Freude auf eines seiner anderen Spielzeuge reagiert hat. Ich bin fest überzeugt. Charles Harris ist die Reinkarnation meines geliebten Alexander. Oh goddammit. Endlich können
Das
wir
war ja
jetzt
so
zusammen
klar.
sein. Endlich kann ich ihn um Vergebung bitten. Ich muss nur noch einen Weg finden, ihn seinen falschen Eltern zu entwenden, ohne dass die arme Henrietta Schwierigkeiten bekommt. 24. August. Letzte Nacht hatte ich wieder den Albtraum. Alexander schreie. Weshalb hast du das getan, Mutter? War beinahe unerträglich. Wenn er wieder bei mir ist, kann ich ihm endlich erklären, dass ich nichts tun konnte, um ihn aufzuhalten. Thomas war ein Monster und ich war am Ende meiner Kräfte. Samuel hatte mir so sehr geholfen und es gab einfach kein Zurück mehr. Nachdem er vom Kuchen gegessen hatte, wie konnte ich ahnen, dass Alexanders Freund krank werden würde und dass er früher nach Hause käme. Dabei zuzusehen, wie mein Sohn das vergiftete Mahl mit seinem Vater teilte, war das Schlimmste, was in meinem Leben je passiert ist. Ich muss ihn zurückhaben. Oh mein Gott! 5. Oktober. Endlich nach Monaten intensiven Nachdenkens habe ich meinen Plan. Samuels Belehrungen über das Wesen der Pflanze waren der Schlüssel. Ich werde Henrietta heute Nacht im Harris-Anwesen besuchen und werde alles vorbereiten. Es muss so aussehen, als wäre der Einbrecher in die Kinderstube eingebrochen, als habe er dabei seinen Mantel zerrissen. 2 Nächte noch und ich habe mein Baby zurück. Die Alte hat ihren Mann und ihr Kind umgebracht. Oh
Ja.
Mann.
Und entführt jetzt ein anderes Kind, weil sich einbildet, das wäre ihr totes Kind. Perfekt. Meine Güte.
Die
Was
Frage
ist denn heute in den Point-and-Click-Adventures los?
ist, war sie es wirklich oder?
Ich meine, das habe ich schon ganz am Anfang vermutet, als das mit dem Bären aufkam. Und wir das gelesen hatten, das letzte Mal.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong. With Fordham and Legere on the case, the only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really? She couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right, sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right. Not another peep. As you were.
Also ich habe 7 Hinweise und 3 Dokumente, also muss ich wahrscheinlich nochmal irgendwo anders hin.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Warst in Harris Construction Yard schon? Du sollst mit Arthur Devins aber über die schicken Bones und das sprechen, dann bekommst du Arthur Devins. Die
Mr.
Solomon
Devins?
Stitching hast du auch
Yes.
schon. Walker Recent. Oh.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devins?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you
Hast
send
du
along with
Linda
your
Walker's
letters. It's a
Tragic
voodoo
Past
spell
schon?
meant to cause bad luck in business. Quite a convenient solution,
Nein.
wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you're on about.
Come now, Mr. Devins. I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
Was sie?
All right, fine.
Kannst du
I
einsehen,
went
was
to
du
go
für
see
Hinweise
one of
hast? Wir
them
könnten mal so
magic
durchgehen, dann
women
kann ich
in
dir sagen,
gas
wo
pump.
du das noch findest.
She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought
Nee,
maybe if I
läuft noch ein
used it, I could
Gespräch.
scare Harris enough to get him to stop making the new airship.
Well, I don't mean to be one to put a damper on your amateur witchcraft, but it doesn't seem to be doing you much good.
No, his grandson got kidnapped. That's not something I'd call lucky.
Mr. Devins, can you tell me about this note?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely. It's as I told you. I had nothing to do with that boy's kidnapping. I didn't even know he existed until you told me. Remember?
Yeah. And that note conveniently showed up right after you had that conversation. Let him stew in his own lies. His unique way of spelling is all the evidence we need to tie him to the note.
Very well, Mr. Devins. Forget I asked. Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
This Arthur Devins Joker is bad news. Not only is he making threats to the Harris family, he also has the nerve to send a ransom note. We have enough evidence to pin the crime on him, I think. The police can deal with the headache of actually finding the baby.
Also ich habe Hinweise zerrissener Stoff, loser Knopf. Moment, warte. Was geht mir auf den Sack hier? So ist das doch viel angenehmer. Zerrissener Stoff, loser Knopf, Aussage von Mrs. Davis, Linda Walkers tragische Vergangenheit, Lindas Aufzeichnungen über Pflanzen, Linda Walkers Aufenthaltsort und Linda Walkers
So wie
Tagebuch.
es hier gelistet ist, wäre es vielleicht vernünftiger, wenn ich dir sage, was ich habe, im Angebot habe und du guckst, ob du es schon hast.
Okay.
Weil ordentlich gelistet ist es ja nämlich nicht. Ich habe hier Dokument Message from Upton.
Ja, hab ich.
Okay. Dann habe ich den Hinweis Torn Fabric.
Ja, hab ich.
Den Hinweis Loose Button.
Hab ich.
Den Hinweis Torn Betting Stubs.
Den hab ich nicht.
Den findest du im Schlafzimmer in der Harris Residence. Und dort muss auch das Dokument sein, Letter from Arthur Devins. Handwritten Note.
Das Ding habe ich.
Fancy. Some poor servant's probably
Soll ich
gonna
erst
get
die
a
anderen Hinweise
flogging for
durchgucken
leaving
oder
it
willst
in
du das
here,
erst holen
though.
gehen?
Nee, das will ich erst holen gehen. Hast du eine Ahnung, wo
Okay.
da?
Mr. Harris's color selection
Du
is
sollst
almost
in
as drab
die
as yours.
Garderobe gucken.
Let's see if there's
und
anything
da
of interest
ist
in any of the
im
pockets.
Schrank Jacken
So,
und
Mr. Harris is a
Coats.
fan of the ponies, is he? I'm sure that's not causing him any
Und dort
trouble at
findest du
all.
diese Betting Stubs.
Ah. Alles klar, weiter.
Okay. So, den Letter from Arthur Devins und Handwritten Note hast du beide.
Ich habe einen Brief von Arthur Devins und einen Erpresserbrief. Ich weiß nicht, ob das die Handwritten Note ist.
Die Handwritten Note ist aus dem Clothes Pile am Ende des Bettes.
There's a handwritten note among the clothes.
Miriam, Baby. Miriam, mein Schatz, ich muss dich heute Abend treffen. Wir haben uns viel zu lange nicht gesehen. R. Ah, gut. Warum habe ich das Ding denn übersehen?
Nothing.
So, dann habe ich noch die Hinweise. LeFay's Testimony.
Le was?
LeFay's Testimony.
Nein, das habe ich glaube ich nicht.
Und Common Jacket.
Das habe ich beides nicht. Wo finde ich das?
Okay, da musst du in dieses Landing Office gehen.
In was für ein Office?
Landing Office, das bekommst du, wenn du in der Nursery mit Mrs. Harris über die Betting Stubs sprichst.
Ah, okay.
Dann bekommst du eine neue Map und dort musst du hingehen. Dort findest du 2 Hinweise.
Ich bekomme einen neuen Ort auf der Karte und da muss ich hingehen, um zusätzliche Sachen zu finden. Was du nicht sagst.
Ich weiß.
Da wäre ich ohne deine Hilfe nie drauf
Hello
gekommen.
again, Mr. Ford.
Ich weiß, das Konzept ist ein bisschen out there, aber ja.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply, I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh, my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis. But don't worry, I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, I'd say we have everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. And we know where she's going, too. Upton will want to know about this as soon as possible.
I'll let you know if I have anything.
All right.
Ich kann mit Mrs. Davis nicht über den Wettschein sprechen.
Kannst du den nicht so auf diesen draufziehen oder so?
Nein.
Mrs. Harris, nicht Mr. Harris. Entschuldigung, mein Fehler. Mr. Harris.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
Ich bin in der Zeile verrutscht, es tut mir leid.
Kein Problem, das kann passieren.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Harris, what can you tell me about these?
What? How did you...
Listen, I'm trying to help you and your family. I can't do it if I don't get the entire truth.
Do you think we could discuss this somewhere more private?
I suppose we could.
Good. Let's move to the nursery then.
Shall we continue our conversation, Mr. Harris?
Yes, of course.
Now that your wife is out of earshot, tell me about the kidnapping and what these betting stubs have to do with it.
Right. As I said before, it had already happened when I got home. I had just come from spending the evening at the meadows.
I see. I take it your wife isn't impressed by your hobby?
I promised her weeks ago that I would stop going, but I've had such a good streak lately. The last thing I wanted was to upset her further, yet it would be foolish of me to just give up on something so promising.
Can you think of anyone who might want to do you harm by taking your son?
Several, I'm afraid.
Go on.
I haven't exactly had the best of luck, Mr. Fordham. That's why this latest streak was so important to me. The truth is, I've gambled away most of my money. I've had to take out several loans so Miriam doesn't get suspicious. If she ever found out, it would be over. I can't lose her, Mr. Fordham. I just can't.
Where have I heard this before? You know, things would be so much easier if people just talked to each other.
I've tried doing business above board, but lately I've had to seek other resources.
What do you mean?
I was forced to visit a lending office. The owner was a rather shady Sambo, but I figured he'd be easier to deal with than the usual sheenies that run those type of places.
Can you believe this guy? Maybe we should just leave the kid be. He'd probably be better raised by wolves.
Who was the owner?
Mr. LeFay. I didn't bother to get his first name. His business is an abattoir row in Chumley. Horrid place, but I was desperate.
You think this Mr. LeFay may have taken your son as collateral?
Let's just say there isn't much those type of people wouldn't do to put a crown in their pocket.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right. If you don't mind, Mr. Fordham, I'm going back to the living room. I don't want Miriam getting suspicious.
Hello, sir. Welcome to LeFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LeFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
And I'm not here to cause any, for the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs, and we should get along fine.
Do you suppose LeFay turns the heat up to put some pressure on his clients? Must be soothing for LeFay to be able to look at this landscape while he sits at his desk. LeFay with a woman and a small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man. He actually has a degree in business from the University of New Britannia? What a waste. A crew escaping a shipwreck on a violent sea. Not the most comforting painting to look at while waiting for a loan. I shudder to think how many people's financial freedoms are locked away in that cabinet. That's the latest model Computron. They don't come cheap. LeFay must be doing pretty well for himself.
Mr. LeFay, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday, saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him. As soon as he walked through the door, I could tell his type.
What type is that?
Upper class, bored with his life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good. Maybe you can pursue money lending if the whole private investigator thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, then.
Aside from that, I don't know anything about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to a minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Exactly how much did Mr. Harris borrow from you?
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It would help to have an idea of exactly how much he owes you, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
A considerable sum.
Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
What's your policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
There are a few options. For the first 3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as to fake his own death.
Do you ever employ any more unusual methods?
If you're implying that I do anything illegal, Mr. Fordham, you're mistaken. Look, I have a family to consider. I'm not about to go getting my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
Take a look at this piece of fabric. Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Müssen wir mit LeFays Jacke irgendwas Besonderes machen oder müssen wir einfach nur sehen, dass da kein Stück fehlt?
Landing Office.
Ja.
LeFay recognizes the torn fabric and shows you his jacket. The close-up study is the front, then use the arrows on the left-right screen to look at the back. Click close to exit the view. LeFay saw Markham wearing a similar jacket.
No tears in mine, huh?
Not a one. You clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to discourage you,
Sache, dass
Mr.
Malcolm
Fordham,
dir eine
but I've
ähnliche
seen a
Jacke
lot of
trägt, bist du
people with
fertig.
this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see. Thank you for the information, Mr.
So, dann
LeFay.
gehst du zurück und sprichst nochmal mit Mr. Harris und dann bekommst du Malcolm Harris als Suspect.
Dass er sein eigenes Kind entführt hat, aber warum? Was
Ja,
hätte-
keine Ahnung, das bekommst du als Suspect.
I'll let you know if I have any more questions, Mr. Harris.
Aber ich kann mit Mr. Harris nicht sprechen.
I'll let you know.
Ich kann mit ihm nicht sprechen.
Mr. Harris?
Ja?
I have some questions.
Ach, du musst nochmal in die Wardrobe gucken, Entschuldigung. Ich war zu schnell.
That's all for now,
muss
Mrs.
wohin
Harris.
Du musst erst
Very
überprüfen, dass er die Jacke hat. In den Kleiderschrank und zu überprüfen, dass er die Jacke hat. Und dann kannst du es vorwerfen.
You don't suppose. How about that?
It matches the piece of torn fabric perfectly.
So, this means.
It could mean many things. The only thing that's certain is that a piece of this jacket ended up on the floor of the nursery.
Seems like something worth asking Mr. Harris about.
Okay.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Harris, do you recall the torn piece of fabric I found in the nursery?
Yes, what about it?
As it turns out, one of the jackets in your wardrobe has a tear exactly the same size and shape as this one. Would you care to tell me how that happened?
That can't be.
I'm afraid it is, so explain it.
I have no explanation. The truth is, I haven't worn that jacket in weeks. I've no idea how it was torn.
Are you suggesting someone else took your jacket and wore it when the child was taken?
I don't know. Perhaps someone is trying to make it look as though I... But that's absurd. Why would I kidnap my own son?
Why indeed, Mr. Harris.
You really think he kidnapped his own son, Miles? Seems more likely he was set up. But he also doesn't strike me as a terribly good parent. Maybe it would serve him right to be blamed for this. We've done our part. The police can handle the search for the missing baby.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
Okay, jetzt haben wir 3 Verdächtige. Und wer ist der Richtige?
Hast du jetzt alle Hinweise?
Ja, und ich habe jetzt noch 3 Verdächtige.
Steht hier nicht, nur dass du jetzt mit ab... 3 Verdächtige, 4 Dokumente und 10 Hinweise sollst du haben.
Ja, das kommt hin. Da steht nicht, wer es tatsächlich...
Dann sollst du mit absprechen und mehr steht hier nicht.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm ready to
Also
wrap
ich
this
würde ja
case
fast
up.
vermuten, dass es
Okay,
Linda war.
who's your prime suspect?
Ja, ich weiß
Weil in
nicht.
dem Brief steht ja auch... In dem Brief steht ja auch drin, dass sie ihren Mann vergiftet hat und das Kind in...
Ja,
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son. whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
We'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Yes, I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a telegram to the train station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good as you again.
You flatter me.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels and report your information as an anonymous tip. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Welcome to Lorraine. An awfully cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
I didn't. It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
Sie war's wirklich.
Addie, are you home?
Still at her appointment, it would seem. You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because you actually listened.
So does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.